One of the biggest questions that Attack on Titan fans have had is who is the Armored and Colossal Titan, because they are the ones who started everything, because the Colossal Titan is what destroyed Eren's village, destroyed the wall, and set Eren on a path of revenge to get revenge on all these Titans. And when I read this initially in the manga, I've always really appreciated the anticlimactic kind of vibe you get from it, because Reiner pretty much realizes this is the end of the rope. He can't continue trying to play friend. Like, he can't be this ally. He feels like he's getting soft. This is the second time that he actually literally was put in a situation that he could have died. The first being with Annie, which we learn, actually, the reason he actually escaped was he carved a message in Annie's hand saying that Eren is near the central force back in season 1, that's where he'll be. And then he sliced through it, making it look like he escaped. The second being with the whole Titan biting his arm sort of a thing. And he realizes at this point in time, he can't play friend anymore. He's grown too attached to some of these people. He's starting to feel like he fits in with people that he's not supposed to ally with. Their original plan was to essentially wipe out humanity, but that ultimately failed. And then they got wrapped in kind of playing games. And ultimately, Bertolt as well as Reiner started getting a little more attached to people than they should have. More or less Reiner himself and not Bertolt. But the point stands. And what I've always loved is when it gets revealed, because Eren shakes it off as, you're just kidding, like, you're tired kind of a thing. And you think, well, why would he shake this off? Like, this is major information. But then you get the flashback to when they pretty much figure out that back when Annie came in, there was two people that came with her from the same area, which was Bertolt as well as Reiner. And everything starts adding up where Armin says, no, like, they would never betray us. Like, literally, Reiner's the one who saved me from Annie. But actually, he asked me about Eren, and then she was staring at his hand. And it all falls into place, to which Hanji says, if this ever gets brought up, if they ever feel like they're getting, like, kind of, like, led on or anything like that, you have to play dumb. We have to get them underground, similar to Annie, like they tried to do in season 1. Otherwise, this is all gonna go to shit. So that's why Eren's just like, let me think about this. No, you're just tired. And then Bertolt's like, yeah, of course, Reiner, you're just tired. You're crazy. Because the entire plan is, if they transform here, we're probably all gonna be screwed over. So I loved how they kept that anticlimactic vibe that the manga had, because it was something I've always appreciated, because it's such a major information. Hey man, I'm the one who pretty much set everything in motion, and I'm the reason your mom's dead and the why you're in the survey corps right now. And I loved how they did it. I thought that, in fact, I'd say they did it equally as good as they did in the manga. I wouldn't say it was better in this case, but I did love seeing the voice acting on top of it, and just seeing Reiner just take off his little, like, the thing holding his arm there, so he just shows that he can heal kind of a thing. Absolutely loved the reveal to then seeing Eren just being like, you damn traitors, transforming. So yes, you are going to get some action next week. I actually saw one comment, like, someone thought the Armored Titan was as large as the walls themselves. It's like, no, only the Colossal Titan is that large, like, seriously. But I absolutely loved this episode. I think this shows how smart Attack on Titan actually is, because so many people bash this off as just being a mainstream edge fest, when in fact Isayama, the manga author, has layered in so much foreshadowing from the very first second of the first episode up until where chapter 93 of the manga currently is. Every single arc goes back and reveals major information in past arcs to show, oh, this was a lot more complex than I originally thought, such as this episode revealing the whole Annie situation with her hand. There is stuff in the late 90s in the manga that references stuff in the Clash of the Titans arc, what we're watching right now. Isayama writes a very detailed story that a lot of people who just kind of watch with half their brain turned off kind of a thing just think it's mindless action or just edge fest, when in fact it does a lot with the story, and this arc is starting to show you, oh, there was actually a lot more complexity in season 1 than maybe I gave it credit for. This episode was absolutely phenomenal. The Colossal Titan didn't look nearly as good as he did in season 1, however, everything else with facial expressions, especially some of the close-ups on Reiner, just the kind of overly detailed, kind of almost still frame drawing, there's a bit of animation to it, it just gave this very creepy feel, but the OST had to be the star of the show, literally giving you, it was almost horrifying because you knew what was coming, even as a manga reader, I knew it was coming, but it was horrifying seeing Mikasa come in, slicing off Reiner's arm to almost killing Bertolt before Reiner comes in to save the day. I just love that scene, because Mikasa's a badass character, but this is just Mikasa pissed off like, I have to protect Eren, to then Eren getting pretty much kidnapped, and then also the Colossal Titan taking Ymir. And I won't tell you, and I won't spoil you what happens to Ymir. You'll have to either continue watching the anime or read the manga to find that information out, but I absolutely love the kind of, like, we we have to flee, we have to go back to our hometown. But there's a major point with Reiner and what he offers Eren. Their entire plan and their entire purpose coming in, because they are outsiders, they come from a different place than where these walls are, as that gets revealed, is their goal was to wipe out humanity, but ultimately because the plan failed, they had to join in. But they easily could have transformed and kidnapped Eren at any point in time, but they started to get a bit closer to humanity, and ultimately that's why he gives Eren the option, come with us, we don't have to break down any walls, humanity can survive, just come with us. That's an honest request, him saying, I don't hate you, Eren, I don't hate these people, this is my mission, I need to go home, you have to come with me or we have no choice. That's actually a very human aspect to Reiner, and it goes against what Reiner was coming in. And this is even some of the stuff, if you remember a couple weeks back, when he sees that Ymir can read the wording, which is an ancient language. Reiner didn't know Ymir was a Titan. The only ones he came with were Bertolt as well as Annie. Ymir is a separate entity, she wasn't part of this whole thing. So that's a very important thing, so also Colossal Titan taking Ymir, that's important as well, which I won't spoil. But this episode was phenomenal. This arc is phenomenal. I absolutely love Attack on Titan. I've reread the manga, I can only say probably about 10 times at this point. I've rewatched season 1 quite a few times. I absolutely love the Attack on Titan universe because Isayama writes a good story. He layers in so many pieces of like foreshadowing information and just major information that you think is just, oh, that's cool, but there's no actual reason behind why that happened. Isayama always goes back and explains why, but the reason he doesn't actively reveal everything straight off the bat is because it takes away some of the mystery and suspense. This series is great. I absolutely love this episode. The reveal I thought was perfect. The anticlimactic feel to then see the backstory of why they're acting so calm when such major information is revealed. And next week is going to be pretty hype. We're getting closer to one of my favorite chapters in the manga, chapter 50. This episode, I believe, ends at chapter 42. Clash of the Titans ends at chapter 50. So we're getting close to one of my favorite chapters in the manga, which should be around episode 10 or so of this season. Really excited for next week's episode. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. For anime originals, how is that reveal? Because when I originally read that in the manga, I had to just like stop reading and say, what in the actual hell, are you serious? Because Reiner's design, similar to Annie's, like as soon as you see it, you're like, oh, of course. But Bertolt, you don't actually think he looks like the Colossal Titan until you see that he is the Colossal Titan, and you're like, his face looks like the Colossal Titan. I absolutely love the reveal, but let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Before you leave, smack that like button to show your support. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.